Your slogan for RTV is Reclaiming New Zealand. Could you tell me what you mean by that?
Sure. Reclaiming New Zealand means to change the way that we do politics in New Zealand, because at the moment it's all about the politicians and politics should be about the people.
You are a grassroots group and yet you've joined with a national group, Freedom's New Zealand. Do you think there is a clash in that?
No, not at all. At the end of the day, it's Freedom's New Zealand is a vehicle that allows all the minor parties that are connected to it to hopefully get over the 5% and hopefully even higher. The higher we get, the better representation we get.
What's the main thing that's wrong with Auckland and how can it be fixed?
Well, if you're looking for an Auckland problem on its own, it's probably transport and traffic issues. But to be honest, Auckland's issues are not inseparable, are not be able to be separated out from the national problems. And the biggest problem we've got in New Zealand at the moment is the lack of morals and the lack of moral standards.
Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. New Zealand politics has been taken over by minority group interests. And we're legislating for this group and for this group, and at the end of the day, when you're legislating for minority groups, the bigger populace actually gets disadvantaged when you give somebody else a minor advantage.
Which minority groups could you cite?
Well, there's any number, but let's just start with the obvious one, the trans movement at the moment. We're seeing them being given so many privileges in legislation. We've got the Education Act, or the curriculum written in 2020 by New Zealand First member, and basically that entrenches rights for trans children or people who identify as trans ahead of every other child in the school. We've got trans positions being allocated on school boards. We've now got a government that's advocating for a trans sector within our migrant or refugee quotas.
Okay, so Paul, you see this obviously as detrimental. How would you correct the situation?
Well, my belief is that they were never actually disadvantaged in the first place. So this is just a continuum from the LGBT movement. It's really just the next step in the process for that movement. So I don't think that anybody in New Zealand went out of their way to make life hard for LGBT people or for trans people in particular.
Yes. Are you in any way against this group of people?
Not at all. I mean, what people do in their own lives is their own business. But as soon as you start legislating for minority groups, as I said before, you can't give one group an advantage without disadvantaging another group.